So I decided to go with a... All right guys, welcome back to week 3. Today we are doing a full day of eating at Tim Hortons. And I'm on my way to do some cardio this morning, and then we're gonna hit meal number 1. It is 7 something in the morning, and that's all I have to say. All right guys, if you read the title, that is correct. I am reaching all of my calories and macros strictly from Tim Hortons today. Now the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of my clients, their goals are fat loss, and they constantly ask me about foods that they can have, send me pictures of things, you know, can I eat here? Am I allowed to have this? And honestly, I've just constantly been repeating myself for years. You basically can have anything you want. It really comes down to calorie restriction, but you also have to make sure that you're getting enough protein and your carbs are decent. So I'm going to show you that you can still make things work, even eating at a fast food restaurant all day. Hitting the protein and keeping the fat down might be a little difficult, but let's do meal 1. Cardio is done, and you know what? I feel amazing today. I forgot how good it feels to start your day off with some mobility, movement, and also to hit the sauna. When you go out into the crisp, cold air, winter is just there's something that's so refreshing, and it feels like I've been awake for hours. Meal number 1, before I even open this and dive in and go over the macros, I went through the drive-thru, placed my order, and left and paid within 3 minutes. That's how quick it was. Now, that's not normally how Tim Hortons usually is, but today, man, they were on fire. This meal total came to 15 bucks, including the coffee. So if you don't get a coffee, it's gonna run about $13. Because my typical breakfast is around 700 calories. I'm roughly getting between 40 to 55 grams of protein, depending on my breakfast selections, but most of the time it's around 50 grams of protein. Egg and bacon, there is cheese on there. You could probably take it off if you're really trying to save calories. We've got 2 of these bad boys. You want a bite? For some added protein, I know this looks like a donut, but it's not. A couple of spinach and tomato egg bites. I almost should have got a second set of them to have sometime randomly during the day, because I feel like hitting my protein goal might be a struggle. But after looking at their menu and looking at nutrition facts, I think the real struggle is gonna be keeping the fat content down. All the sandwiches, all the breakfast stuff, all the wraps, the bowls, were all at least 20 to 30 grams of fat per sandwich or meal. Okay, so the total for this meal, 2 bacon and egg on English muffin breakfast sandwiches with 2, I guess they're called omelet bites, 790 calories total, 60 grams of carbohydrates, 47 grams of protein, and 38 grams of fat. So it's just the fat content super high. That's not ideal to start your day with that much fat. So if I can stay between 50 grams and 70 grams, per day on fats, I'm doing all right. But the more fats that you have in your diet, especially when you're on a calorie limit, you're gonna have to either limit carbs or protein, and obviously protein's not the one you wanna limit, so you're gonna have to limit carbohydrates, which again, doing that at Tim Hortons is very, very hard. So yeah, overall, I think the meal is perfect. I'll see you guys at the next meal. Package is delivered. Ta-da! Meal number 2. You're gonna love this. This, however, I did not order. It's just an extra bun. Technically, if I eat this, I'm probably adding another 200 or 300 calories of carbohydrates, but we've got a regular chili here. And drum roll, please. Brrr. Ta-da! The turkey melt. When I'm selecting these foods, I'm using Tim Hortons' website, the Canadian version of their nutrition facts. So I decided to go with a regular chili. The turkey melt, the reason I got this is because it was the highest in protein without going too crazy on the fats. Total with this meal, we're looking at 860 calories, 41 grams of fat, 72 grams of carbs, and 52 grams of protein. Oh, come on. What the? The world has gone insane. First the straws, and now the spoons. Oh man, next thing you know, the bread itself is gonna be made out of cardboard. What are we at so far for the day? We're at 1,650 calories so far. We still have 750. It'll be interesting to see what we get tonight. This is my first time having either of these, by the way. This is technically my pre-workout meal as well. My next meal really doesn't need to be until 6 or 7 p.m. And maybe I'll just stick with I'll try to meet that 750 calories that I have left in one meal. I probably won't need to eat again, but I'll see you guys in the next clip. I am now getting my final meal of the day. Hi, could I get I'll go for the, dang. All right. Well, my original option was gonna be the Chipotle steak loaded bowl, but they don't have that. And also the clam chowder because it was super low in calorie, and it was kind of like a little filler, but they don't have that either. So I'll have to kind of recalculate the calories when I get back home and see what it comes out to. This was supposed to put me pretty much about 60 calories under my goal. And that was what I was gonna end the day with, but we'll make this work. All right, we made it. So obviously this last meal didn't go as planned, but now that I've recalculated the calories and macros of this meal, it kind of worked out fairly similar. Here's the meal. We've got the cilantro lime chicken bowl, and it is the slow roasted chicken. Probably the healthiest thing that I've had on the menu all day. We've also got another free bun, which I will not be eating. And then the chicken noodle soup. The chicken noodle soup is only 110 calories, and basically it's just 19 carbs. A couple of grams of protein from the chicken. I'm guessing there's not a lot of chicken in there. And as I sort of called, I knew that looking at the menu, most things were high in fat. After calculating these macros, the fats are unbelievably high. They absolutely dominated the total calories. So here's what we ended up with. 2,340 calories, so we're just 60 calories shy of my personal goal. So we're still in a caloric deficit. That's a bonus. Now the protein's a little bit on the low side, but not terrible. A little bit low for me. It's not a protein amount that I would aim for every single day, but we've got 138 grams total today. Carbs are also fairly low at 191 grams. I would usually aim for a little bit more than that, but the fats were 118 grams. Now that just is not, it's not ideal. And that's why the carbs and the protein are so low, because the fats just dominate. You know, when you go to a fast food restaurant, they use a lot of different oils to make things taste better. I think it also helps kind of preserve, you know, the foods for the long distances that they're traveling to ship them to all these different places. So, you know, the fats are high. But the moral of the story for this video is to show you that you don't have to avoid fast food, or you don't have to avoid some of your favorite places. You know, maybe you're in a position where you have to stop at a drive-thru and get something to eat because you're starving. Maybe you're on the road. I don't know, but I just want to let you know that it's still possible to meet your calorie goals and even your macronutrient goals by having just one meal. I mean, I don't think there's ever an instance where you're gonna eat every meal from Tim Hortons like today. I only did it for the sake of the video, just to kind of get the point across. If you are in a pinch, don't feel like because you need to eat, like, you know, you stop at McDonald's or, you know, you stop at Tim Hortons, that you're gonna completely ruin your diet. It's just not gonna happen. Fat loss is still going to, you know, be achieved. Obviously, there are scenarios that's gonna throw you off your diet, and it's mostly gonna come down to, you know, if you, let's say you go to McDonald's and you get a Blizzard, or, no wait, that's Dairy Queen. You go to McDonald's and you get a McFlurry, right? Or you go to Tim's and you get the donuts or the muffins or like an ice cap. Those things are gonna completely throw your macronutrients out of whack, because then a lot of those things that are high in sugar, high in carbohydrates, will kind of cancel out carbs later in the day for that, and you're gonna have to eat a meal that is like mostly protein, which, you know, is doable, but not ideal. So think protein when you go to a restaurant, right? If the meal has some protein in it, obviously there's gonna be less carbs and less fats, not always, but for the most part, it's gonna eliminate a lot of things, right? Because obviously there's no protein in like a lot of the, you know, ice caps and McFlurries and Blizzards and donuts and muffins. You know, so if you get rid of the junk and just eat things that are actually meal worthy, that have some protein in there, then you're going to be fine. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you got something from it. But I'll see you guys next week.